Hi, everybody. This is a wee bit of alchemy. I'm Rick Barrett. Welcome. We're going to continue with our exploration into Bagua energies today and take it a step or two further. First, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about how we're creating these energies in our bodies. Because like any martial art, you can do it in a superficial way and you'll get benefits from it, no doubt. But when we go deeper into it, and we actually can dig into the chi, the energy that is there, and also the jin, the physical expression of those energies. Then we got to look in a little deeper and pay a little more attention to what's going on. And two of the things that are really essential, not just to Bagua, but also to Taijiquan and any other internal art, uh, when you're wanting to generate Jin, when you're wanting to create some expression of energy in your body, and two elements that come to mind are one is Song, Song, which is um, usually translated as relaxation, but it's way more than that, and it's because we don't really have a a word that makes it a one-to-one transliteration. But the sung is when you are releasing muscular tension and relaxing into the support, the intrinsic support of your body mind, particularly your connective tissue system. And so, I've talked about this a lot, and I'm talking now just not just to people present, but the for people on YouTube and anybody who wants to check in on this video. The I talk a lot about the connective tissue system and the importance of that. So this idea of sung is letting go of unnecessary muscular tension, which gets in the way of your chi flow, and also in the execution and expression of Jin. The other quality, which is kind of in a complement to Sung, so we think of Sung as the yin aspect, that is releasing and letting go of extraneous muscular tension, and then the complement to it, the yang complement to it, would be reaching. I've heard it called Feng, Feng. I need to check on that, but let's just call it reaching for now. And that is your there's an extension there. You're lengthening the tissues, but you're doing it in a way different from the way we usually think about it, which is it's not through muscular contraction. And so it's the muscles will be employed certainly, but it's rather than contracting, pulling in and making the muscles shorter, we're actually lengthening the tissues and including the muscles. And this is a very different approach to that. And so what I think of is like your your tuning your connective tissue similar to the way you tune a guitar or a violin or something like that. Say you want to get an E note. If you have too much sung, that is, you're totally relaxed and limp, your your E string is not going to vibrate the way you want it to. You're not going to get the sound out of it that you're looking for. If you get you'll get a thud out of it if you do pluck it. But if you tighten that string to the exact tone, exact pitch that you want it to go to, then it's going to vibrate at exactly the right number of cycles per second, and you're going to get a pleasing tone out of that. If you tighten it too much, then you're going to take it out of key, and you're going to it's going to not give you the same uh, effect that you're looking for. So we're looking to lengthen and tighten our connective tissue to just the right amount. So we ordinarily kind of take some time to first get the sung, get the muscles out of the way, so that we can then put in this whole different approach, which is this reaching. So in Bagua, it's particularly interesting because we're reaching, and but more than in straight lines, it's rarely in a straight line in Bagua. It's almost always a spiral. So we're rotating arms, legs, bodies, torsos, everything gets rotated so that it gets this twisting effect. So we're actually doing that tensegrity thing on the on your whole body. So what this does is it tunes up your connective tissue so that the energy can flow on that. The other thing that happens whenever we do that is that we increase the energy flow in the system. So whenever we are playing with the Bagua shapes, we're going in different shapes. We are creating different forms, energy forms as we're doing that, different chins, different expressions of those forms. And the energy, at least the way I'm teaching it, is that we're getting it from our three pillars: our central equilibrium, our energetic coherence, and we're unkinking the hose. That is, we are releasing muscular tension, which takes us back to Sung again. And so we're aligning the joints in such a way as to allow for a smooth expression of the energy. So we get these basically three things together. One is the Sung, the next is the reaching or Feng, and the third would be this energetic coherence, which would come energetic coherence, but also a fullness that comes from the three pillars. So we always start off these things by going into the three pillars and really feeling into that sense of fullness in the body. And once we have that, once we've jacked up the chi in the body by tapping into the big chi, we're not just limiting it to the resources of our own body mind, but we're actually tapping into a relationship with the yang chi of the heavens and the yin chi of the earth to amplify the available chi. And then we start to twist it around, we spiral, we create these different shapes, and each one of them has its own unique expression, energy expression. And so whenever we twist and turn, say the arm goes like this, and it's rotating, it's not just turning, there's a reaching involved with that. So that extension then means that the arm, even though it's sung, even though it's relaxed, there is a power that comes into that you're not going to get just by rotating your arm without the tensegrity. So when we're doing these exercises and we're exploring these Bagua energies and these Bagua chins, then just keep that in mind, that you're releasing your muscular tension, you're getting very sung, but at the same time you're reaching and opening, you're lengthening your connective tissue and finding that sweet spot in your body that does the work that you want it to do right now. And there is no one sweet spot that is perfect for every person, every time, and every situation. We are learning to tune our bodies and tune our energies so that we can find the exact appropriate energy for any situation, and be able to create that response instantly, so that we have that, we're never very far away from having that body mind spirit integration that's necessary to create the effect that we want. So let's stand up, please, and we'll explore that. Okay, so relax and sink your weight into your heels. We're going to start off very yin. And we're looking for that sweet spot there where we're the center line, front to back and side to side. We're looking for that center line, which is insubstantial. It does not exist as a thing. It is more of a where all those things meet. There's that center line. So we're feeling into that and releasing the knees, sinking down into the earth, relaxing your lower back, dropping your sacrum. And then reach with the crown of your head, tuck in your chin. Relax your shoulders, your back. And as you tuck in the chin, reach with the crown, you're opening the jade pillow gate at the base of your skull. So feel yourself sinking down into the earth and tapping into the yin qi of the earth. Reach with the crown very lightly and just feel just above your head, kind of reaching for an insubstantial spot just above your head. Point your index fingers, feel your energetic coherence. And just, it's a subtle thing, but it allows the energy to unify. It also activates the tensegrity of your body mind. And then spiral down to your left, spiral down to your right. Relax get very sung in your hips. Feel yourself nice and easy. Feel the turn, nice and easy. Releasing any muscular tension around your hip joints. Reach with your elbows. Open up your shoulder joints. Yeah. Now go to the balls of your feet. Reach with your wrists. Press down with your big toes. Reach with the fingers. Sink into your heels. Reach down with your elbows, your wrists, your fingers. Move into the ball of your left foot. Reach with your left wrist. Press down with the big toe and reach with the fingers on your left hand. Now, extend them out even further and feel the effect, of lengthening the connective tissue has in your body. Feel how it affects the rest of your body as you do that. Sink into your left heel and withdraw, pull your elbow back and feel the sung. Feel your arm very relaxed. and then go to the ball, press down with the toe, reach out with your finger point, reach out, and feel that extension there. So feel the difference in your arm as you do that. Whenever you lengthen the connective tissues, you're creating more tensegrity in the system, and also you're amplifying your chi flow. And then sink into your heel and bring your elbow back, bring your hand down, sink. That's what we're looking for when we go. This time, okay, let's try a different thing here. Let's go into the ball, reach out with your wrists, reach out with your fingers. Now, rotate your forearm, palm up, and feel that the connective tissues being pulled whenever you do that. And rotate the opposite direction. So your thumb comes down and feel that. So that twisting there is creating a different tensegrity in your arm. And then palm up, feel that. Really reach and open up, feel it through your shoulder, into your back, into your spine, down into your foot. Feel that connection, the tensegrity throughout your whole body. And then sink into your heel, withdraw your elbow, and come down. So that's the feeling of it there. We're creating these different shapes. Each of them has its own unique quality. And I'm not going to get into a lot of the explanation of what these energies are and how they relate to the elements and things like that. I'm not going to do that right now. I want you to just feel into these things that we're doing here, because they have a different, each of them has its own feeling, and just, you don't have to think about it, you don't have to put it into words, just feel it, because that's the way you're going to bring it into your nei shi, your inner sense, your interoception. So now there's one thing that we're going to be doing here. We're going to add a twist to these shapes, and the actually, let's just start doing them, and then I'll add them in as we go along, and we can play around with that. Okay, so I'm going to turn my back to you, and see my feet. Yes. Okay. So the footwork on this is going to be, you pivot and turn, and then you turn back, pivot on your left heel, and then pivot on your right heel and turn. And then you pivot on your right heel, you pivot on your left heel and turn. So you can feel that twist is happening, as I'm doing this. It's happening from my feet up through my legs, up through my torso, my spine, my shoulders, my arms, down to my fingertips. That's that spiraling energy goes through the whole system. We're tapped into the big chi, so then we are able to then direct that energy in a way that is in keeping with the movements that we're doing. So let's start with one of these postures. So begin with in your heels, feel very yin, feel your three pillars. So your central equilibrium, your energetic coherence, and unkink the hose. And so go to the balls of both feet, press down with the toes, reach up, and then pivot on your right heel. And as you do that, bring your left hand up, palm up, and your right hand palm up, reaching out. And notice that there's a twist here. Okay. And then we would turn like this, reaching and coming around, pivot on your left heel and right hand up, left hand reaching out. So the reaching here, notice that the left hand, there's that turn there, that spiral. So this is you have that tensegrity going there. The right hand is rotating up and out like that. So we get these rotations that go through our body. So feeling that those different movements, it's not something that most of us do in our daily life. These postures, they kind of awaken our body mind and say, hey, here's something new. Let's have some fun with this. So let's do that. Yeah, so we're here, we're going to pivot on your left heel, pivot on your right heel, and turn and open, right? And then turn back, pivot on your right heel, turn, left hand comes under, and pivot on your left heel and reach. And for our purposes, let's go back weighted on this. So your weight is primarily in the, if we have the hand reaching out is the yang hand, then the yin leg is going to get the action. Okay, and then we pivot on your left heel, reach, turn, pivot on your right heel, reach and open. Okay, now I'm going to throw a little twist in here. Pivot on your right heel. Left hand comes under the right, turn. This time, your left hand is going to circle up behind you, reaching up, and turn your body, and then turn and finish. Okay, going back the other way. We'll go through this a few times so you can get the feeling of it here. So we turn, right hand comes onto the left, pivot on your left heel, turn, right hand reaches up behind you. You're looking up at the ceiling as your hand comes around, circles, turn, and open. Pivot on your right heel. Left hand comes under. Pivot on your left heel. Sink into your right foot, your right heel. And left hand comes, circles up behind you. Turn and pivot on your left heel. So just a note here. You be mindful of your own limitations. Okay, I'm demonstrating, one way of doing it. I'm coming like this, like that. But be mindful of your back, your arms, your shoulders, whatever. If the way you're doing it is like this, that's okay. However it works for you. The idea is you're getting more range of motion after you do the exercise or by doing the exercise than you had before. You're awakening this part of your space, your personal space, the airspace above your head here. You're like, oh, here I am. I'm reaching up over my head. A lot of people, you tell them to reach up and they're like, that's as far as they can go. They have forgotten how to actually extend up. So we're reawakening this innate capacity of our body mind to do this really cool thing, which is to come around here like that, right? And whoa, then you get it creates all kinds of fun stuff once you get the feeling of it. So let's do that again. We'll do the same palm here. So pivot on your left heel, right hand. I'm sorry. Right hand comes under, circles around, and turn and open. So your weight is primarily in your left foot at this point. Reaching out with the right hand, left hand palm up here. Pivot on your right heel, reach out with your right hand. So feel that tensegrity there. Okay? At this point, you're getting it, you're rooted in your left foot, but that's only temporary. Pivot on your right heel, reach with your left hand under your right, pivot on your left heel. Feel that tensegrity there. You're reaching behind you, reaching up, circling. Your whole body turns. Your torso turns, your spine turns to the right as you do that. As your hand comes across, and then, it's coming around to the left now. Reaching out, pivoting on your left heel, and open. Pivot on your left heel, right hand comes under, reaching out with that left hand. Feel that tensegrity. You want to feel that reach all the way down into your feet. Left hand, right hand comes under. Reach with the right hand. Right hand reaches up behind you. Circle. And turn. And spiral. Okay, let's do a different palm at this now. We're going to pivot on the right heel, left hand comes under, pivot on the left heel, left hand circles up, around, coming around here, and this one, we reach. So this is the posture here. We're reaching out with, in this case, the left arm is coming straight out from the body. The right hand, the right arm is rotating, circling around, spiraling around so that the thumb points at the navel. Again, you're combining your Song and your reaching here, your Feng, by rotating your forearm and reaching with your thumb. Okay, so here, we're here like this. We pivot on your left heel, reach out with that left hand, reach under with your right hand, pivot with your right heel, reach with your right hand, behind you, circle, arch your back, turn, reach, and come around, pivot, and reach with your right hand, left hand, thumb points at your navel, and there's that twist there. Pivot on your right heel and turn. Right hand underneath. Left hand. You're on your right heel now and turn. Left hand reaches behind you, up, circle, come around and finish. Pivot, reach. Right hand comes underneath. Pivot on your left heel. Pivot on your right heel. Reach with your right hand. Right hand comes up. Arch your back. Turn to your left. Reach to your left. Pause there a moment. Just get that feeling there. You're in this rather odd position, but if you have your tensegrity, it is not terribly vulnerable. You're actually, exploring your range of motion, but there's no danger involved. Right hand comes around and reach. Okay. Balls of your feet, reach with your wrists, toes, reach with your fingers. Pivot on your left heel. Pivot on your right heel. Right hand comes up, circles around, reaches to the left, turn, and this time you're reaching out. So your body's spiraling, but that spiral comes through. So just actually take a moment and just do it straight on. Just feel what that feels like. Now do it with a twist and just feel the difference in the feeling. Feel the difference in the tensegrity. Feel the difference in the energy that comes around whenever you have that twist involved, as opposed to just squared up. So we're exploring that particular chin in this posture. All right, here we go. So we're pivot, right hand comes up, circles, turn, and reach. Reach with your elbows, open up your shoulders, and feel. So the vector is going out, but it's also spiraling at the same time. So you're getting this kind of energy that is being directed out of your hands at that point. That kind of chin, spiraling, thrusting kind of chin there. So now we pivot on your left heel, your right heel, and rotate your right forearm, palm up. Reach with your left hand, sink into your right foot. Left hand comes around. Rotate, palm up. Circle around your head. You're looking to the right. You're reaching to the right as you turn and pivot and reach. Feel that energy. Relax your arms as much as you can while at the same time reaching. So there's a sweet spot there where you can feel the connection. Okay, turn. There. Right hand comes under, pivot your left heel. Circle. Pivot your right heel. Right hand reaches up. Arch your back. Turn to your left, come around. Pivot on your right heel. Just pause and just feel into that stationary posture now. Reach with the crown of your head. Reach with your elbows. Relax. Open your shoulder joints. Feel the connection all the way down through your feet and into the earth. So we're not moving right now, but there is a whole lot of motion occurring inside. This is the motion and stillness. Pivot on your right heel, turn. Reach with your left, stick at your right heel, turn, open, reach, and finish. And turn, reach with your left hand. Pause a moment and just feel into that. Just feel that extension there, the lengthening of your arm while it being very relaxed. Relaxing your shoulder. Point and reach with your index finger. Just feel that connection. Feel the connection going through your body, spiraling down through your torso, down into your legs, into the earth, and back up again. So it's a rotating system there, alternating current, going back and forth there. As we do this, you're creating this jin. The jin is reaching, it's coming laterally, it's circling around that arc there, but it's also reaching out. And it's also spiraling. So we're getting all these different energies involved with these simple movements, which make Baguazhang such an interesting martial art once you get into the energetic aspects of it. So pivot on your left heel, pivot on your right heel, reach with your right hand, arch your back, reach up, and reach to your left, turn, pivot, and reach. Okay. And okay, so now we're going to turn. Left hand comes under. Okay. Left hand, pivot on your left heel. Left hand circles. Coming around. And this time, both palms up. We're just gathering. Actually, let's do the earth one first. We're going to go from there. We're actually going to go both palms down. So it looks like this. You're pressing down. So this is more of an earthy kind of energy, more of a yin grounding kind of thing. So we're here, we're reaching, pressing down like this. So we turn, pivot, pivot, circle, turn, pivot on your right heel and press down. Relax, very sung. This is very yin, we're into this, we're letting go. And pivot on your right heel. Circle. And press down. Turn, pivot. Reach. Feel the very quiet energy there. Turn, reach, pivot, and press. And turn. Circle. So now we're going to open both palms up. This is a very receptive, we're actually receiving the energy of the heavens as we do this. Opening, reach with the crown and just feel that young energy just circulating through your body. And turn, reach. Circle. Pivot and open. Just pause and feel into that. Just allow the energy to do whatever it needs to do to provide your body with the resources it needs to do its work, to heal whatever needs healed. And turn, pivot, circle. And open. Step in and press down. And just pause a moment. Allow the energy to find its way. But it's doing a lot of different things right now. And this creates new possibilities within your body mind, within your energy field. You're awakening potentialities that have been lying dormant whenever you do this stuff. Step in, take a deep breath, inhale, and then sink into your heels and throw the energy away. Please have a seat.
Wow.
Good. Anybody want to offer something? Scott?
First of all, it was awesome. The twisting was definitely felt great on my back and everything else.
Wonderful.
It was all great. So a couple of postures where we have our arm, holding our arm up, my tricep would start to get sore. I don't know if I've got a block in a kink in the hose there somewhere, or is that just normal, or
I'd say that you're teaching the old dog new tricks. So if anything, I'd say relax a little bit, get a little more sung, and just give it a chance to come up to speed. I'm pretty confident it'll come up to speed fairly quickly if you do that.
yeah, I mean, I was actually trying to look for kinks in my hose, and I couldn't really, it felt like everything was connected, but there was still a little burn in there. I mean, it wasn't terrible, but.
I've been doing this stuff for a couple of decades now, and it still gives me surprises. So we're a constantly shifting system, and so creating this helps to reestablish your homeostasis. Kind of gets the ship righted and gets things aligned properly. So yeah, give it a little patience with that, and I think it'll work fine.
I feel righted.
Right on. Cool. Anybody else? Debbie.
I noticed that when we were twisted, that my my hand, my wrist wanted to continue the turn. So the either the pinky finger or the thumb, depending on which way we were going. And I think I usually had the right intuition, but every once in a while I got it really wrong and I could feel it. And I'm wondering, are we supposed to be feeling that going through the hand as well? Okay.
No, that's yeah, definitely you're right on the money there. And that's why I say find your sweet spot. Everybody's going to be different. Everybody's going to have different, kinks in their hose, and don't force anything, but just okay. You're nibbling at the edges of your range, and so play with it. These exercises are based on stuff I've learned in Bagua, but it's just an exercise I made up for to share these energies, to share these things that so you don't have to actually go through 20 years of Bagua to get the joke. You can actually feel these qualities without having to do all that other stuff. Not to say that other stuff is not absolutely incredible, but this gives you a taste, kind of like taking the helicopter to the top of the mountains. Like you get, oh yay, this is what it looks like from here. Anybody else, Jonathan?
Uh, like 30 years of Tai Chi with you, and it's the classes, how often we used to say when we were doing push hands, reach is reach. It's like, we're not just pointing and we're really reaching, like really reach. And like what you were saying, how in this, which is like an extra level of reaching, I was kind of reminded of being in elementary school, teacher, teacher, when the ooh, ooh, and the arm and the hand like would go to the base of the arm as if like it's going to fall off if you don't attach it to your hand, because that's how much you're reaching. And frankly, this is what brought back the memory of you saying, "Come on," when we were there, like, "No, really reach." I go, "Oh yeah, I remember the last time I did that. It was fifth grade." It's just so.
Yeah.
I really do feel there's something really to that, to just, I mean, just that of just what is real reaching about here, and how does your body then connect the tensegrity of that, of your real reach, it's a lot to explore in that little motion there.
Wonderful. Lynn.
I get that same feeling that the hand is just gonna keep going and going, but really.
Come back.
Um, and yeah, it does. Yeah, going back to third grade. Um, but so while I was doing it, I was a little bit like trying to find specifics, and maybe I was just being a little bit too didactic, or you know nerdy. Like what the relationship between the arms, the dantian, and the feet. Like everybody pointing not quite the same direction for me. And I didn't know if I should be aiming for everybody, like the dantian and the feet and the push, like for example, going the same direction, or just keep feeling it and find it as it spins out the way it should be.
I think
Did that make any sense?
it did, and I think the latter. I think it's we'll fine tune it as we go along, but first just do it. It's like if what I've always told my students, like if you can't do it right, do it wrong. If you can't do it wrong, make it up, and that's kind of the approach I like to take these things. So the doing is so much more important than the rightness, and then we can fine tune it as we go along.
Cool. But while we're on that subject, it's I think what Debbie was describing is kind of, at least for me, it feels like part of the point that energy comes up. It is a complete spiral, and it keeps going, and it extends all the way out through what you're expressing. So just like a double helix or whatever you want to imagine, spirally thing, you know, wherever you look along that spiral, you know, they're going to be rays pointing off in different directions.
Oh, right. Okay. That's
So,
good.
so
I like
it
that,
is
yeah.
kind of, you know,
So,
energetically
yeah.
dispersive that way.
That's a really good explanation of that. I like that, because and therein is the magic of Baguazhang. You know, that it's like, you know, it's a spinning top that just like shoom, shedding things. Things are just touching it and shooting off into space. You know, and so there's a it's a beautiful thing. But that, you're right. So any place you touch on it is going to be in a different direction.
Mhm.
Valerie.
Well, when Lynn was asking that question, I was thinking, because it felt really good to me, it felt right. I thought, oh, I wasn't paying enough attention to my feet and, you know, everything being in alignment, but it still felt good. So, so thank you, Nick, for piping in with what you had to offer there. I thought that was very helpful, because I went into my little doubt mode.
Yeah.
I pulled a little muscle along here sometime yesterday, or I
Yesterday.
slept weird last night, something. But it was very sore this morning, and then because I was doing other stuff, I got home and it was like, oh my God, it hurts, it hurts. So while we were doing this stuff and going over, I'm thinking, I'm not going to be able to do that. Well, I proved myself wrong, and it did not hurt at all. This is sort of like what we did 2 weeks ago, where it was just like, yay, team. And now that we're done, I can feel it again, but it is much, much, much improved. So what you were saying about let the energy go where it's, you know, I took that really to heart. Let the energy just go where it's supposed to go, and it'll find what it's supposed to heal or whatever. So that was like,
Yay.
yay. And this is just a quick aside. This is very funny because I have a student who is just about as hunched over as I have ever seen anybody be hunched over in my life. So, and I only have him, which is a really good thing. And I've been picking and choosing out of reclaiming lost territory on just to get some things moving. Well, I was doing the reaching today, but he can't reach because it just, you know, all kinds of pain for him. So it was reaching without reaching, just reach, use your imagination, just reach, reach. And the transformation, I mean, and he had to be sitting down, but the transformation on his face and his body was just remarkable. So I was on the same wavelength as you were, you know, for tonight about the reaching, and just, you know, being able to see that so profoundly in somebody else that really
Wow.
had limited, very limited mobility was just,
Wow.
yeah, it was very, very cool.
That's you really gave him a gift there. That was terrific.
No,
Wonderful.
you gave me the gift so that I could give that to him.
My wife always regifting.
Jonathan.
I have to just speak up for I constantly talk about this, about love or fear. Rick once gave a whole seminar just with that title, as a lot of you know. But that whole business of fear is this, like with the shoulders, and Tai Chi's like the opposite. It's that, so that a hug, even before you move, feels good because it goes into you're about to reach out to somebody. So I think you really tapped something there, Valerie, with this person, because you took him out of fear and into love. He doesn't have to move a lot. It's just that initial transition into a loving feeling. That's beautiful to hear that from you.
Terrific. Cool. Okay.
This
Thank
is
you
the
all.
coolest. I just I hang out with a guy and all this, and he's always doing his stuff, a little bit here and there. So it's we all get a dose of it every week, but it's just amazing work. I mean, and so shareable. I think that's the most important part. It can be just spread to people so readily. So, Valerie, again, just
It gives me hope that shareability gives me hope that okay, yeah, if enough people get the joke, that
right.
we may have a chance.
Yeah.
Thank you, Maria.
Thank you. Love you.
Maria.
Love you,
Thanks,
Maria.
Thanks, Rick. Thanks,
Great.
all.
Love you. Bye bye.